So the next selection down is going to be security level setup. Now, within security level setup, in here, the different commands that we have within here apply to about 90%, maybe 95% of everything that you can do within PixelPoint, front end, back end, and so on. All things pertain to transactions, for example, accessing tables, logging into the system, taking breaks, and also accessing into the back office as well. All of this can be controlled through the back end here. Now on any of these, if you select on any one of them, we have the particular function here. For example, this one here, access to lock order pages. Okay, so for example, this is a function that you can do where you can actually, I'll tell you what it is later on. But in order to lock order pages on the system so they can't be moved around, then I can actually apply a security level to this, in which case then everyone from this job security level and up will be able to access that particular functionality. Anyone below that will require manager authorization in order to have it applied. Now, on this, if I select on up and down arrows for this minimum security required, then you'll notice as it skips through the different levels, and this matches up with all the different numbers that I've applied within the different job positions. Remember, I've got the 30 that I created for cashiers and so on. So what it will do in the system here is actually go through and hit each one of those security levels that I've created, or the ones that were already created in the system. And on the right-hand side, you'll see all of the applicable job positions that will apply to this. And anything with an asterisk means that it will be exempt from that. It will not be applicable. It's just below that. So for example, if I have it set to a 75, then that means from managers and up, we'll be able to apply this. Anything from wait staff managers and down will require manager authorization for this one given function. On this as well, ask for reason. So on this, if there is a particular manager authorization that's being required for this, then actually it will also prompt you as well for a reason to be applied. And we have, actually within refund reasons is where you find all these different reasons. And on there, then it will actually present this and require that you select a reason as to why you tried to perform this particular function, and have that logged within the system as well. All right, down below that, log security activity as well. Remember these logging, the system log within the back office under general setup, where we have the logging of all activity in the system. You can actually have this particular function included within that as well, just by selecting on that, in which case then it will be also fed into that system log and noted within there as well. The next thing down is Time Clock Manager. Now, I had mentioned in a just earlier on in this session here, where if someone forgot to clock out, or they maybe chose the wrong job position or something like that when they got into the system, then what you can do is actually make changes to it. And that's what you can do within here, actually, is you select on whatever the business day is. Now, bear in mind, I haven't done an end of day since I began this whole course. So you're really not going to, I don't know, I might be able to find something here. When did I start this thing? It was in, here, maybe I was, here, how about that? Yeah, for the life of me, I can't even remember when it should have been around there, or maybe it was on the Monday or something. Okay, it was on the Monday the 5th. Okay, so I'm still sitting on Monday the 5th, and here I've got my supervisor still in the system. And under real circumstances, you would have, on a daily basis, you'd have all the employees who worked within that shift. But what I wanted to just be able to identify for you here is just some of the things you can do within this. Is so I have, for example, this supervisor in here, and on this I can actually make changes to any employee in here. First of all, coming up to the left-hand side where I've got the pull-down menu, I've got a few things here, and the first one here is Setup. Now you're going to see this screen show up in another section as well when I get into employee scheduling. In this you have some setup information, first of all in terms of the shift times. Okay, now the shift times being the start time and end time. This is not the hours of operation for the establishment in terms of when they open, when they close, because of course you have employees coming in long before they open to do prep work, and also cleaning up and running the end of day process after they close. So the hours that you want to put within here are basically hours in which you would be wanting to schedule people in here. So for example, I may open at 9 o'clock in the morning, but I may actually want it to be for 6 o'clock in the morning, okay, because I have my prep staff coming in to cut lettuce and cook spaghetti and stuff like that. And then in terms of the end time, well, maybe the establishment closes at 2 a.m., but I'm actually there for another hour just to make sure that the place is clean and swept and everything's set up and ready to go for the following day. So I may be there till 3 a.m. if that's the case, or someone could be. So just make sure that when you're setting up these shift times, it reflects in terms of when people will be clocking in and clocking out, hypothetically, under any job position. Coming over to the right-hand side, we also have week start day. What is the beginning of my work week? Okay, so when I do bring up the scheduler, then I want it to default maybe to the first day, and if that is the case, maybe my week starts on a Monday instead of a Sunday, or maybe it starts on a Saturday or something like that. So you can identify when it would be. Also down below that, days to load. Okay, and in here we have 7 days to load. All right, so my typical work schedule is 1 week. But I can change that to 14 days. I can change that to 30 days if need be. It depends on the way your operation is run, your time and attendance and payroll and so on like that. So you can identify as far as when I load up a schedule, a work schedule, this is the number of days I want to load up within there. Also, what is the default interval of hours I want to show? It can be anywhere from 15 minutes up to 4-hour intervals, and within here you can define as far as what the default one will be. And more often than not, it is by hour, 1-hour intervals. Show skill indicator, yes or no. Okay, so within here, remember the skill level that I showed within that employee record. I think it was Abby, and she's about a level 8 out of 10. So if that is the case, I want that skill indicator to be included within my employee scheduler. Coming over to the left-hand side, we have payroll information. And so within here, first of all, I can identify as far as how my payroll is dispensed to my employees. Are they paid weekly or bi-weekly or semi-monthly, being like on the 15th and the 31st or something, or monthly, in which case then they're paid once a month. And so within there, I can identify as far as what that typically is. Also, edit days prior to end period. So for example, if I'm at the end of the period and I need to go back and make a change to Abby's time and attendance record, for example, how many days do I want to allow to go back before I lock it and say, okay, it's stuck in place, you can't change that after that. And then we have here last pay period end. So within this, you identify the anchor point at this point when you're programming this in, so that, okay, so they're paid bi-weekly starting on this particular date, and boom, so it's going to be bi-weekly from that point on. And so this is the anchor point for all of that. So this is all part of the setup that you can set for this. Also within here, we've got special. So we've got things, for example, in add shift, delete shift, and delete break as well. So within here, if I want, I can actually add in a whole new shift for an employee within the back office. Also delete an existing shift. I can select on that, for example, and well, not that one because I'm still in it, but you could delete off a past shift as well. And also view the change log as well, any changes that were made to these particular things. Now the changes that can be made, see, I'm the only person on the system and the supervisor, and I'm currently clocked in under that shift, so there's not much I can do. You'll see I've got, right now, I'm 527 hours and still running on this. So, but under a real record, I have all kinds of different people's records, and then I would be able to access all this stuff. But in this, anyway, I can choose on a person, and then I can do here, first of all, filter by job positions, show me all my bartenders, for example, or my cashiers, or whatever it happens to be, just to filter this list down. Along with this as well, I can change as far as their punch-in, punch-out date and time. I can also change as far as the business day that I'm referring to. Right now I'm on November 5th, but I can change to another date just by selecting on that. Also, the break type as well. Maybe they said they were going on a lunch break when actually it was just a coffee break, for example. Also, the job position. So if this person has multiple job positions and they chose the wrong one by accident, I can go in here and change that. Also, their pay rate per hour as well. So if I have Abby coming in and working on a Sunday when normally we're closed, but she came in to wash up the area behind the bar, for example, then I can pay her a little bit extra for doing something like that as well. Or if it was a break, I may want to change it as a paid break or an unpaid break, for example. So lots of little things like that you can change within here.